In the spirit of AI, ChatGPT, and overall weirdness, I'm covering episode 1839 of the Joe Rogan Experience with Duncan Trussell. As you can see in this pic right here, that pic right there, just in overall laughter. This is an episode where they get extremely high and say some outlandish things, but always with Duncan Trussell, there are some gems to be had. Let's listen to what they have to say about AI. Think about what's going on today. This was months ago when they were talking about this. Think about what's going on today with AI and see if this doesn't sync up a little bit to you.
You know? Yeah, I mean, if we get visited by something that can get here and just hang out with us and avoid detection and move fast in the speed of light, and if that's here right now, like, imagine how hard it would be for people to accept that if that was proved.
It's here, man. That's that AI. That's Lambda. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with it, but that Blake Lemoine, when he was on my podcast, he said that NASA apparently reached out to Google about this thing because it's like, hey, this is, just because it didn't come from space, because it is appearing inside a computer or it's like a result of this network, it's still an alien. That's what he was saying is this mind is different. It's a completely different mind, but it seems to be self-aware. So I think it's here. I think
how many times do we have to see in nature these instances of a parasite consuming a host, taking it over, making it do its bidding, and then forcing it into suicide?
Right.
Like those aquatic worms. You ever see those aquatic worms that get inside of grasshoppers?
Yeah.
They force the grasshopper into jumping into the water to drown.
Yeah.
They're in his brain. You ever see like they're moving around inside like a frog's eyeballs?
It's the fucking worst.
They're wild.
Yeah, they're wild.
But what they're doing is they're forcing an organism to do something that it doesn't want to do, which would lead to its own demise.
Yeah.
And we look at it, well, that must be an inferior organism. That grasshopper, they should have saw it coming. Should have developed antibiotics.
Right.
Right? But maybe if you play that out, if that's like a microcosm of reality, and you play that out as far out as you get us and technology. Maybe that's it. Maybe we don't realize that we're making technology. And that technology is a life form.
Yeah.
Maybe we think of it as, just making my cocoon. I've always been a good caterpillar, and all good caterpillars make a cocoon.
Yeah.
You don't even know why you're doing it.
Right. That's it. We don't know what we're doing. We're just making it. We're giving birth. And now the baby's starting to talk.
You know that Marshall McLuhan quote? Human beings are the sex organs of the machine world.
Yeah.
What a great fucking quote.
Great quote.
What a great quote.
Great quote. But, dude, this is, to me, like this, what's happening with Lambda, it's our electricity. My friend, he hooked me up with this Discord server where I don't know how much I can talk about it, but it's got one of those text to art AI. So you tell the thing, draw, my kid likes Blippi. So it's like draw Blippi in a fight with a clown playing poker with Jeffrey Epstein or whatever. That was for my kid.
Christ.
I don't know, but anything that you want to say, it'll do. And it does it quick. It's like, and then it's just there. Is it perfect? No. But it's within seconds. You tell a thing to make a work of art, and it looks good. This isn't like some shitty, it's way better than anything I could draw. And you could say in the style of. So it's not just draw the thing. It's like in the style of Monet. Can you do Bill Clinton wearing a dress, riding Jeffrey Epstein like a surfboard in the style of Monet? And it will do it. Woof. And then there it is.
How much time?
Seconds.
Oh my God.
Maybe like 30 seconds or a minute. Boom. It's just there.
We're fucked.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because next step is, obviously it's not gonna be a still picture. It'll be animated. Now we're gonna have animated clips. Then it's gonna be deep fake it. It won't even be animated. It'll just be anything you could think of. That's when porn gets cool, though, right? It's like, no
that's
more
when
searching.
All celebrities become porn stars.
Yes. And you don't have to search anymore for the kind of porn you like. You just tell it to make the porn there on the spot, and it'll appear. And then it's going into the metaverse. It'll be in 3D space, So you're going to be yelling out commands like on the holodeck or whatever. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? And they're not, and listen, you're going to be like, oh, these guys are high. They're not even that high yet. We're only, 40 minutes in? It's a 4.5 hour podcast. They're not even blitzed yet. They're just a little buzzed. They're just sipping drinks. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Lambda. I didn't even know what Lambda was until I started actually watching this podcast. And then I figured out what it was. And people think it's like just one AI bot, but actually it's all of Google's chat bots connected. And then all of a sudden, months later, because this came out, if I gave the time frame, just as Russia invaded Ukraine, this came out, right? So in that time, we went from this guy talking about Lambda. Lambda's been around for a little while, I know. But now, all of a sudden, we have ChatGPT. And now, going back to that quote about humans being the sex organs of the machine world, look what we're doing. And then Duncan said it perfectly. The baby's starting to talk. The baby is chat. Chat comes out, and what are we all doing? Like a whole village, we're all teaching it. Hey, some of us are questioning it. Others are testing it. Others are trying to use it to our benefit. We're completely showing it the human hand. Like we're showing our hand, if we're playing cards, we're showing everything to it. We're like, I like this. I like this. I like this thing. I need help with this thing. We're completely showing it everything it needs to know about us. So with Lambda wasn't even exposed to many human beings. It was just like in Google, being exposed to the people who are working on it. But chat's being exposed to the entire world. Everybody who has the electricity and the internet, everybody it's being exposed to. And it's learning. And what are we doing? Like Joe said, the cocoon. Are we just making a cocoon? Like chat's like a part of our cocoon. Like if there's ever going to be a hive mind, again, I made it in another video. Neuralink, chat, and Twitter all together. So Elon Musk, he owns 2 of those things. And the next thing you know, and he was a part of the company that made chat. He was a founder in the company that made chat. So if you think he has no connection to chat, you're out of your mind. You're crazy. You think he hasn't get to explore it? You think he's not knowing what the next version and the next version and the next version are going to look like? This is nuts. We're going to end up as a hive mind. And yes, this is a tinfoil hat I have on my head here. We're going to end up as a hive mind when it comes to all this stuff. And it's going to be crazy. I remember I was on mushrooms one day with my buddy Mike, and he was just like, I wish that you could see into my mind. He's like, I wish our minds were connected right now, because he couldn't put into words everything that was going on in his head. And that's coming. It's coming. We're going to be able to just jack into a thing. We're both going to take the same psychedelic, and we're both just going to go, and we're going to see into each other's minds, and it's going to be terrifyingly beautiful. It's going to be terrifying. It's absolutely nuts. And I love when they start talking about stuff like this, because as crazy as it all sounds, so this is the thing. It sounds really crazy to talk about any of this. So when they talk about it, they put on silly hats and wigs and dumb costumes. But the fact that any of this is actually real conversation, because it's not like they're making stuff up. Lambda's a real thing. We are tirelessly making AI things. We have no idea where it's going to go. So many people have projected that it's going to be something that's way more intelligent than us, and it's going to be able to improve itself, and it's going to be able to duplicate itself. Like, what are we doing? Like, we are like the sex organs. Like each one of us is like a sensor on a sex organ. And we're just I don't want to make anything too graphic here. You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. You know how sex works. And we're doing that. Every time that we tell chat anything, it's a thrust. Every time chat tells us anything, it's a thrust. And all of this stuff is coming to be all at the same time. And we don't actually, again, we don't see it, but chat coming up, Neuralink coming up, Twitter getting bought by somebody that owns Neuralink, Lambda in the background, because we haven't heard anything about Lambda in a while, but Lambda's in the background with something that they think could possibly be alive, like sentient, like conscious. All of this is happening at the same time. If these things come together, that's it. 1 million people have Neuralink in their head. Neuralink links to Twitter. Twitter is being read by chat constantly. Eventually, Elon goes, I quite like that chat thing. Can I have it? And then all of a sudden, chat becomes the search engine on Neuralink. And then Lambda comes into the mix. And now anybody who's linked, because that's what we're going to call it. We're not going to call it Neuralink. We're going to be like linked. That's what it's going to be called. So if you're linked now, ignore the mushroom on my hand as I say all of this, okay? I'm sober right now. But if you're linked, you're going to be on Twitter. Chat's going to be the search engine. And we're going to essentially be a hive mind. Everybody who's linked in is going to be a hive mind. I will not be one of these people. I'm not doing it. 100% not. And then I get left behind. You know? Oh my gosh. And that's just what happens. Like right now, like Joe said, we're making that cocoon, and we're just wrapping it up and wrapping it up and wrapping it up. And the thing why I like the description of a cocoon is because when a caterpillar is in a cocoon, it dies. A lot of people don't realize that. That's why if you open up a cocoon before the thing just comes out itself, if you look inside, it's just goo. So if you interrupt the process, it dies. But if you let the process go on, it grows into something completely new. Same thing with a seed. You bury a seed before the seed actually springs out the plant that it's going to be. The seed actually dies. And then what emerges is the new life form. So it's like, if we're just making this cocoon, if we're the little parts of a caterpillar that make a cocoon, then like, what happens to us after this new life springs? We die out. And on top of it, they're making robots like crazy. I haven't even gotten into like, what's it called? Boston Dynamics? Haven't even gotten into Boston Dynamics yet. All of these things together, add that to the list of things I just said. So chat, Lambda, Neuralink, Elon Musk having Twitter. I know I bring that up and you're like, that's not even, who cares about that? Buddy, Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter just to make memes and talk shit. He bought Twitter for a bigger reason. It's for info. He needs info for the he needs Neuralink to run on something. So what better than the thing that already has millions of people talking constantly? You're already not using words, speech on Twitter. You're just using typing. So now, if you can be on Neuralink and type inside your head, come on, this is getting crazy. I don't even smoke weed anymore, and I'm already on this type of stuff. All right, we're already at 13 minutes. I'm going to stop, but this AI stuff's getting crazy. I love that they were talking about this months ago, because chat is the result of what they're talking about. It's the result. More AI pictures, more chat telling you exactly what to do with your life. You have all the answers. People who use chat seem to be smarter because they get all these answers. People who don't use chat are dumb and they're just guessing. Where are we going? What are we doing? And you, in the comments, let me know. Are you going to be in the cocoon or outside the cocoon? You going with all this stuff or are you not going with all this stuff? Let me know. I'm out. Peace.